So I'm about to go in here and see Dr. Erik Nabi, who is a chiropractor and movement specialist. Something a little bit different than a normal chiropractor, who likes to, crack your back, come see me 3 times a week, put you on the bed, whatever. He actually goes over movements that's going to help strengthen, my lower back and hip, and then also so I don't have to come and see him all the time. So is a very, very, very cool guy, as you will see.
Alright, so we got this 3-inch block we just did, 5 reps on each side. Now we're going to slightly progress it, so slide this one under. Beautiful. And then same goal here, and now we have a little bit more mobility and a little bit, so to speak, we're warmed up with the hip. Let's get it. Good. Beautiful. And then adding that right thoracic rotation is going to help open the front of the left hip while you're tucking in here. And then slowly control all the way back down. Beautiful. So let's do 5 all the way through. Yeah, good job. Way to get that hip through. Good. So to kind of reiterate what I was saying before, the more movement that you can obtain from your hip joints, that's your main driver, and the less you're going to have to do with your low back. So the reason a lot of people have a lot of back pain is not only do they not have enough control of their torso and their spine, but they don't have the ability to obtain movement from their hips. So it's kind of like minimize movement from your torso through control and maximize the drive from your hips. Those are the 2 big concepts that most people need. Good. Is that 5?
Yep.
Good. Now it's the other side. Is this side a little easier?
Yeah, this side's a little bit easier.
So with warming up, this definitely gets easier for you, but the key is going to be to eventually get to the point where you can pop into this cold. So your resting hip mobility and control is from the ground and unassisted. You don't need to warm up into your mobility. One more, nice and strong. Awesome. Now take a little break and then let's do it unassisted. We'll see how it looks. How's your back doing?
Back actually feels fine.
Good. Good, good, good. Alright. Let's get it. Same thing.
Start here.
Yeah, you can start there. Yeah, lean forward and drive. That a boy? Good. Find that tuck at the end underneath. Good. And then slowly sitting back. Good. Good. And it'll get easier to do without needing that momentum. But thinking about how impossible this felt without those warm-up sets, without the blocks, it's a good progression. Good. Beautiful. Now I'm going to stop you there because we're going to add a piece to this, okay? If you get to this position, now you're up already, you have the ability to push into this shin and this foot to step through into a lunge, and it's a lot of hip control, okay? Yeah, so right now it was kind of fast, you kind of had to rush through it, but that control of being able to move your hips in this way is going to be the next step, and it's all pivoting and controlling from here. Good. So we can add that little progression in. You can start to train that one step. Good. Drive up, drive through that right foot and shin, and step through it to that lunge. Beautiful. control it all the way back. Good. Awesome. Good. Take a break. Good work. Yeah, you feel good. Go straight into it. Good. And you feel how you have to drive through that glute?
Yeah.
Internally rotate that hip a little bit? Good. Beautiful. I anticipate this side will hurt less because you're using more glute engagement as you drive through that left leg, so you're supporting that low back more. So if going to the right side bothers you, maybe you're judicious with how you approach it on the right side for now. Because in this position, you will use more of this posterior and lateral chain on this side. So there's more opportunity for that left low back to be engaged. Yeah.
Oh wow, that felt a lot easier after doing that side.
Good. Beautiful. Now let me have you take a break for a second. Stand up, move around. We'll come back right here and work a little hip movement together and come back to that. Okay? I want to see if I can get you to step through on this right side and then find a neutral spine position. So it's going to be lots of stretch between here if you don't have mobility. But I want to see where the movement goes. If it goes to your spine or goes to your hips. So let's get there and see what we get. If you want a good camera angle on this, kind of going like here would be good, because it'll show you sideways what happens. Yeah. Now go ahead and step through right foot next to right hand. Okay, good. Good. So you sacrifice a little bit of spinal position in order to get here with your hips. Okay? So all I'm going to have you do is sit into this hip a little like this. Okay? Now get rid of the roundedness here. Arch your back. Do you feel more stretch?
Oh, in my leg, yes.
Yeah. So that's what I want you to become aware of. How to find movement from your hips and not from your spine. So this is good. Now we got to arch and get rid of the roundedness here. So arch to the best of your ability without letting this hip pop up. Yes. Good, good, good. You'll feel huge stretch in here.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Fight for that right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right there. And you're just trying to get rid of this groundedness. Okay. One thing that can kind of help too is you take a yoga block and put your hands on it. That'll slightly give you a more elevated position with your shoulders so you can get a better position here. Good. And then we're just fighting this down like that and arch through this spot. Beautiful. Good. And then breathe. Breathe. Give me another 40 seconds here. And this is active, so you're actively using your core to fight for this position, separating the hips. So anytime we get into a stretch, it's always controlled. Good. Keep working. 20 more seconds. Good. Thinking tall here. Tall, tall, tall. You're doing a really good job finding this hip position. Load your foot evenly, so don't just load the inside, but find the big toe, little toe joint, and the heel all evenly. Just like you would in a squat or a deadlift. Good. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Take a break. Okay, now try to keep this knee neutral over your foot. Good. You want to just bow it out, and while you keep that there, this goes here. Good. Does this sound a little easier?
Well, yeah, it's not. I don't feel as much of a stretch.
Yeah. So it looks like you have more medial hip mobility on this side than you do on the other side. Okay. Which may be part of the reason why a lot of your tension ends up being out here. So then the goal will be to make your right hip feel more like this side can. Because it's a lot easier, yeah? Yeah. Good. So we can do something similar with the outside of this hip. Okay? Actually, I changed my mind. I want to make this a more active stretch to see if we can open up quad tension. Okay? So if I have you take this same position here, but now come up into a lunge, we can actively open the front of this hip by trying to stack your rib cage, pelvis, and knee while you're in a lunge position. Okay? So a lot of stretch to the front if you're tight. So find your lunge. Good. Perfect. Yeah, better. Now, I want this knee. Actually, that's pretty good. Good there. How's this feel? Square this foot up a little bit, so push through that big toe. Good, good. Do you feel a lot of stretch here?
No. I mean, I do feel a stretch, but...
Good.
At least I get to move around. I don't have to.
Good. That's good.
Oh yeah, let's do
Good,
this.
that looks really good. Let's see the other side.
Right, or like the two.
So if we do the same thing on the other side.
What do you do for cardio? What do you recommend?
Honestly, right now, like given that you still have some.
How's this side compared to the other side?
This side is actually
Easier. Okay.
Well, I mean, I kind of do jog.
That's fine if you don't get more symptoms from it. If you feel like you do, and you're.
A little shaky, but really good. Really good.
That's when you know, that's your body.
After doing these couple of movements, let's go back to that
So,
rotation.
if
Let's see what it
you
looks like.
tolerate it and you enjoy it.
Okay, let's see what it looks and feels like.
So back to this one?
Yeah, just see what it feels like to get here.
Feeling like
So, go on.
Yeah.
For us, it's more meditative.
Yeah.
In your own head, like feeling your breath and like doing something for you.
Then just do a couple back and forth.
So I'm
Let's
totally
see.
cool with that. I don't think you need a ton of.
Is there all this?
cardio
How's this feeling?
Based on your goals.
Much
you know?
easier now.
I think
Okay,
like
good.
that is perfectly sufficient if you wanted to do
I just
something.
feel like I get more like energy high.
Right. If you, we're gonna start to incorporate things like kettlebell swing.
Now, pause
like
here.
that, which are like classes at home.
This position
Yeah,
is
where
called
I'm
a
also
high
like-
oblique sit
or it's
because you
short
basically have your
rotation,
legs obliqued and you're high up with your torso. Okay? If you take the same position, but you bring your forearm down to the ground here, this is going to be a low oblique sit. Okay?
I don't feel like I get
Now, the difference between the high one and the low one is the high one is very hip dominant and the low one is more core oriented because now you have to load your core. So, you take your high oblique sit, bring the elbow down,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
weird, because most people
bring
are opposite.
this
Because
leg
what I do like to
up
do is
like
like,
that.
do like
Good.
20 seconds.
And now we
lower
have,
upper,
we actually bring
40
this
seconds,
okay.
like, slowly, and you-
Now we have a way to
You're
start
like rolling
to
it
use
you
your
instead
glute,
of like,
your
you
hamstring,
know,
Maybe if I put my
and your core all
maybe, and
together.
like try leaning
to
like
rotate
that,
and lift,
like is a
okay?
really good approach for most people.
So,
They do
what you're
something
gonna
really
do
good better.
is basically
500 meters
take
per
this
second.
core position that you've been working on, and we're gonna use it to rotate and push
Yeah, I was
up.
gonna say I like that too, so
Okay.
if I can get.
Yeah, there you go. So you start to feel not only how to use your hips or how to use your core, but it's together, okay? So, let's start with this.
Okay, so next.
Your position is creating a triangle here, okay? So your body's strong, strong, strong. Then this arm goes here, and then this leg goes here.
Wait.
Kind of like an equal sign,
So,
okay? Now, I don't know if you want to switch positions. See this. I don't know if this matters.
So after the
Good. Now from here, all I want to do is work on the rotational part. So this is two parts. The first part is going to be, can you rotate by engaging these muscles to load your right knee, okay? And then part two is going to be to drive up,
so Wednesday
okay?
I can
So,
do,
start on your side.
I mean Tuesday I can do.
Strong here. Good. Now, try to roll towards me. Roll to put pressure onto your right knee. Good. And as you do that, you should feel the glute and hamstring moving like crazy on this side. Yeah? Good. Now I'm going to push you back, control the push back. We're going to go back, control it. Keep going, keep going,
Oh,
keep
you
going.
could do
Good.
after the 9:30
Good.
haircut.
Now
or
you
do,
beat me.
Roll.
Roll, roll, roll. Load that right hip. Good. And then let's go back. Good. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back.
Do you want to put 215 or
Good.
230?
You okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Load together, together, together. Good. Now drive up. Good. Drive up, drive up, drive up. Good. Rotate this up like that. Beautiful. And then slowly come down. Good. And then one more time. Rotate, 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 and drive, 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 drive.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Put this down.
And then slowly
Enjoy
come
your
back.
trip next week. Lots of
Beautiful.
good
Take a break.
food. Oh my God, we
So
didn't have a bad
these
meal.
two things are basically the
We went
same
to Follow
idea,
Beach one day.
but this one's
Had
very
chocolate
hip dominant,
Okay.
and this one now makes you apply those core concepts with your hip.
Yeah, I've never been there. The darling had wonderful.
The big key is getting your brain to feel it fire together.
All those
So next time you pick up a bar, do a deadlift, whatever it might be,
so much that I
boom, core glute hamstring all together. Okay, core glute hamstring. Let's see the other
Well, it
side.
was like such a cheap flight to get there that next time
Why are
I
we
will.
driving? And it's just 5 of us and it's, isn't it?
Okay, so you got the strong triangle,
That weird airline.
you got these two parallel,
Allegiant. That's what
and
we
then
did.
you're going to use your big glute hamstring here to rotate forward. Don't even bother lifting it. I want to see, can you rotate as one piece? So come down, relax. Good. I want to see if you can take this and rotate it all together. So
Right.
this here. Good.
No, this works because
This
we
lift
need
it.
it.
Now, just rotate towards me.
Right.
Rotate, rotate. Good load, and then come back, come back, come
All right,
back.
have fun.
So we'll be
Good.
back safely and hopefully still love each other.
Rotate towards me. Load, 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 load. Good. And come back. Good. Now, rotate towards me and load, and then drive up. Good. Feel it all together. Drive, 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 drive. Good. And then slowly control it down, and then back. Good. Do it again. Rotate towards me, load, drive, 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 drive. Hold that there. Lift this. Good. Lift this. Hold that there. Don't let this fall. Use that muscle. You should feel glute, hamstring, and core. Super challenging.
That side's much harder.
Yeah, that's
Keeping
why
this up.
that's why that back pain comes in on that left side. Okay? Okay. So, if you feel, come here and feel on me. Feel right in here. Okay? As I roll forward, that hamstring pulls my body forward. Can you feel how it engages?
Yeah.
Right? The glute does the same thing. So you should feel back in my glute, right? As I come forward, I drive, I load there, and that pulls my pelvis in a position to then be able to lift. Okay? The value of this is getting all of this to fire together and feel it in a position where you're really loading the core. Okay? Because it's so easy from your feet to just be able to go and dump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to lose it because it's such a higher complexity position. So if we can make it simple but challenging, that's where we're going to get a lot of gold. Let's do it again. First, just work on the roll. Seriously, you get a lot out of that. Yeah, so be strong here. I want you to feel this, this, and this working together. So let's bring this here, up here. Bring this knee up a little. Good. Now, use these muscles to push your right knee into me. Good. And then relax out of it. Good. Bring this knee
I want to use this.
You're going to use that too. You're going to use that too. So this is going to hold this leg up. Good. So here, good. Use this to drive this knee into me. Beautiful. Good. Then slowly rotate out of it. Good. Rotate out, rotate out. Drive into me using this. Good. Together, together, together. That's it. Good. Then come back down. Good. This time here, drive into me. Then lift. Lift, 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 lift. Good. Don't lose this. Good. That's it. Then slowly control it back down. Good. Take a break. Good work. It's a nice setup activity because people are going to get strength development from it, but then it's gonna make it so that, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good PJ.
Yeah.
It's gonna make it so that all the things you do afterwards are more effective because now they're targeting the muscle tissue that they're trying to target. So if they come in saying like, I have weak hamstrings, I really want to strengthen my legs, it may not feel like they're doing a lot of work in the beginning, but man, once they can feel this and load a bar, you're gonna get such better results. That's it. Strong legs, squeeze that right glute. Good. Yeah. Let's see the other side. So this is starting to get into the real life application of some of the stuff we're doing. Differentiating hip from back. You have to have that torso control and then the ability to produce mobility from your hip. And that's basically a lot of what the groundwork has been so far. Okay, now pause there. Keep your body square to the ground. Rotate this way. Good. Good, good. Don't shy away by rotating out. Keep your chest towards the ground. Yeah. Good. Much better. Okay, and two more.
Just bouncing around.
And straight back with that hand, so don't let it rotate. Straight back. Yep. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Alright, I just got done visiting Dr. Erik Nabi. As you saw, a lot of his adjustments and everything else. You didn't get to see him crack my back, but that's one thing he did at the end. But he's a movement specialist, so as you can see, the adjustments that he's making in the movements that I was doing, and trying to eliminate some of this low back problem that I claim that I have, and he's telling me it's my hip. So, and he seems to be right, because everything that he's telling me to do seems to help. So we'll come back and see him in a couple of weeks, and I'll keep practicing these movements that he gave me to do.